Okay, everybody, welcome to episode 6. In episode 6, we're going to focus primarily on the power supply that we're going to use in this radio. And just to recap the voltages that we need on this radio, from the A supply we need 5 volts, and I showed you in the last video that I'm going to use that China power supply, and some of you had concerns about it being switching and causing interference. We'll get to that when the time comes. If it does cause interference, I'll just simply build one. It's very simple. The B power supply here is looking for 4 voltages: 180 volts, 135 volts, 45 volts, and 67.5. And then our C supply is looking for minus 45 and minus 4.5. So this board that you're seeing right here, which I'll zoom into so you can get a closer look, is our power supply. That's our power supply module right there. Sorry. And you'll see that I have a daughter board attached here. It's raised up and I can remove it. And that's the entire C supply. So there's really 2 voltages coming out of here. It's the minus 45 and the minus 4.5. And then these wires here are all the B plus voltages. So you've got the red wire is 180, the yellow wire is 135, the white wire is 67.5, and the green wire here is 45. And you'll see it's relatively simple. There's not a lot to it. Very minimal amount of components. And what you'll see here is I've got my parade of meters here. I do have a lot of meters, as you can tell. And what we're going to do is we're going to light this up and show you what it does. And then we'll call out what each particular voltage is. So let's get these meters turned on. Okay, I think everything's a go. I'm going to throw some power on the variac. And I do have a 4K resistor here for a load resistor for the B+, by the way. So let's light this up and see what we got. And I'm at 100 volts. Let's go up a little bit. We're going to go right to 120. Okay, so we're at 120 right now. So on this meter here, we have 46.9. So that covers our 45 volt B+. And I'm going to lose my battery, so let me go change it. Okay, we're back. So here's our 180. Right now we're getting 188. Here's our 135. Right now we're getting 139.5. Here's our 67.5. Okay. So those are these 4 meters that I just showed you are the B+. 1, 2, 3. There's Bentley. Say hi, Bentley. All right. Up to here is B+. These 2 meters here are our C+. Okay, that's a little bit better. Sorry about all the wires, but you know what we're doing here. So this meter right here, we've got our minus 4.5, so we're good. On this one, the most we can get is 32.6. So I'm thinking that I probably need to adjust one of the trim pots. Right? So everything's working except for this one. I need to fix that. If you look at the circuit board here, you'll see I have those 2 trim pots right here. One is for minus 4.5, and this one is for 45 volts. They're both 500K trim pots, and I'm thinking that this one is probably just a little too much. I probably need to bring that down a little bit. So I'm going to have to look through my stash and see if I have, for example, a 400K trim pot. Or I could just throw a decade box on there and see which is the right value. But in essence, we've got the entire power supply now ready for this radio. So this is a good thing, right? So now what I can do is put everything in the box, the power supply box that I showed you, right? That plastic white box, mount it, figure out what kind of connectors I'm going to use on this so that it's detachable. I'm also going to put the corresponding end on the radio side, and that will allow us to do a quick connect and disconnect. I think I mentioned I'm going to put an indicator light on the box so that we know if it's powered on or not. and that kind of stuff, and power switch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to display the schematic for what you see right here, and I'll let you take a peek at it. And if you have any questions, let me know. And obviously, I'll take no credit for any of this because Brendan's been helping me with this, but I can absolutely help you with this. And for those of you that are restoring old radios like this, Brendan was joking around this morning and said, you couldn't have picked a harder radio to do this for because there's like so many voltages here, right? I've got 6 meters, and I have another meter which I would need for the 5 volt. So we're looking at 7 different voltages, which is kind of crazy. So this particular design works. It's all on one board. This is removable, this daughter board. So I made it modular. And just to give you a little clue on how I did that, in order to make it removable, I've used these things here. I'm sure you've all seen these before. All right, so I've got this mounted to the main board in the bottom. Then I've got the header pins on the other board, like that. So that's how I made it detachable, and it lets me, utilize some of the space going up instead of out. So that box won't be so crowded. And then, of course, this is our other power supply. So I'm going to work on getting this this negative voltage, this bias voltage fixed. And that's the what we require here is negative 45, and you'll see I've got negative 32.6, and I can't adjust the trim pot any further. It's at the most open spot there. So I'm going to get on that, and we'll see where we are. So I'm gonna keep this video relatively short, and I'll come back and show you where we've landed with the negative bias voltage. And the next video we'll have the power supply mounted in the box, and you'll start to see it take shape from a connector perspective. So let me go display the schematic now, and I'll leave it on the screen for a minute or so you can look at it and do a screen grab if you want. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.